Hey YouTube, this is going to be a video on how to make fried rice with just no meat whatsoever. The ingredients for this, besides the spices, is going to be rice. Here I have 2 cups of pre-boiled rice. Here I have a quarter pound of green beans, all diced up. And here is half an onion, all diced up. Here's the other half. Okay. Now, this is 3 carrots, diced up as well. And 3 habanero peppers, chopped up. I didn't chop them into fine pieces, but that's enough spice, trust me. So we will start by putting the rice in a pot and then filling it with water. Now that we have the rice in the pot, I know you can't see this, but the rice is about 1 inch over the water is about 1 inch over the rice. I need you to cook this until it starts boiling, and then let it boil for about 4 minutes, medium high. Alright, and cover it. We'll come back when it started boiling. So, the way I usually wash it is I just pour the water out of the pot and keep filling the pot with water, pouring the water out until the water runs clear. You can do that as well. I have lost a little bit of rice here, but it's okay. Okay, once you're done with that, and that was cold water, by the way. Once you're done with that, you want to transfer this back into a pot. It most likely will have to be a bigger pot than you used to boil it in the first place. Okay. Now that we have the rice back in a big pot, what we want to do is pour enough water just to coat the rice, just to come over the rice a tiny bit, because we're going to be adding seasoning to this. So add the water. Be careful, don't add too much. Depending on how much you're cooking, just enough to top the rice, okay? Because we're going to be frying this, we don't want to overcook it and get it all mushy. So, I have my seasonings right here. We'll start with putting the bouillon cubes in it. Okay, that's 1. That's 2. The salt is mainly just for extra sodium, I guess, if you didn't get enough from the bouillon powder. I don't see why you shouldn't get enough. Now, add everything else one at a time. Once you add all your spices, except for the salt, leave the salt alone until you have tasted it when you're frying it. If you need salt, then you can add more salt. For me, I don't think I need any more salt. But after you add your spices, just mix it together. I used a little tiny teaspoon. Just do that to get the spices mixed into the water. But cover it and let it cook. And then once you hear crackling, where the water has just about dissipated from the rice, you can go ahead and take it off the heat. Okay, so now, I don't know if you can hear it with all the rattling of the oven, the stove, but listen. If you can hear that, then that means that the water has dried out from the pot and we can take it off the stove. Now we're going to do the other part, which is the frying of the vegetables. I would use a non-stick pan, but for me, I don't have one at the moment. After the rice is done, with all the spices and whatnot, set it aside and put a non-stick pan on the fire and add your oil. I have half a cup of vegetable oil here, right here. Add that to the pan. Okay, that was half a cup. Just add that to the pan. Now, I don't normally cook with measurements, but for the sake of the video, I have to. Let that heat up. Once it heats up, add your onions until they are clear, and then add your habanero peppers, or you can add your habanero peppers along with your onions. It's totally fine. But once that cooks, then you can add your carrots, and green beans. We're just waiting for this to get hot. You can always test to see how hot the oil is by putting in a test piece, as it were. Nope, not hot yet. So we have to wait a little longer. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now add your onions. Okay. Make sure your heat's not too high. Like medium low should be fine. You don't want to burn your onions. Okay. And add the habanero peppers. Now at this point, while this is cooking, you can taste test the rice. You can taste test the rice and see how much sodium you have in it. Oops, excuse me. Alright. Okay, it has a fair amount of salt in it. I don't think I need to add any more salt. We're good. Okay, now we figured that part out. We don't need to add salt to this at all. If there wasn't enough salt in the rice, you would add salt here. Now you can add your carrots. If this is not enough onions, you can definitely add more. I'm not much of a vegetable fan. I don't like too much onions. At this point, you can turn up the heat a little bit, not too much. I'm trying to coat the carrots in oil. Okay. Just let that cook. And then the peas won't take too long to cook, so don't add them just yet. We're trying to get the hardest thing in firmness to cook first, which is the carrots. The carrots will take a little bit to cook. When I made this for my friends, oh my gosh, they wanted to finish the entire pot of fried rice in one sitting. Okay, I'm going to turn up my heat a bit. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and add this. See the color change? The blend of color between the carrots, the onions, and the green beans is really good. I like it a lot. This has taken me a while to make. I was supposed to have made this video a long time ago, but I just kept procrastinating. Lovely mix of colors there. Okay, once you have that in, now you can start adding your rice little by little. Add 2 full spoons. Actually, make that 3. Okay, mix it all together. The rice itself doesn't have any oil. All the oil that's in this pan is going to get mixed in with the rice. See, now the ratio of rice to vegetable is a little overpowered by the vegetables. You keep adding rice and mixing it in. At this point, you can turn down the heat so it doesn't start sticking to the bottom. I mean, for you, it won't stick to the bottom because you're supposed to be using a non-stick pan. But for me, I have to turn it down because I don't have a non-stick pan. This is what I have. I have to be quick about it. See, the rice is not mushy. You can still see the grains of rice. As you can see, the bottom of the pan, mine's sticking to the pot. Alright, so that's how you make fried rice. Really simple. Just keep cooking this, stirring until you've incorporated all the oil as best you can. But yeah, once the carrots are done, the meal is done. Okay, the carrots are the hardest vegetable in this meal to the hardest substance in this meal. Once that's done, they're soft and whatnot, you're good to go. I hope you enjoy.